A return from Getz. No, that's not me. He was happy to see me back though. And his little rascaling companion. So, what did we get? The final day, we're back 2 hours later. Tired. Waiting for the Chinese takeaway to be delivered. We bought some extra bits on Sunday. So, if you haven't seen the little stream I done on Saturday, we found some more MGRs at a very sensible price of £5, and some box ones at £5. There was also, just to make it up, 20 quid, the old plank Coke wagons. So I do like them, so we grabbed them as well. These were off the Ellis Clark stand. I'd already had a few bits from Sea-Rail a while back, and I didn't order a transfer kit for the kit tank containers, so while he was there I picked up the transfer pack and another reefer. It's nicely detailed P&O one. And Shedring Hobbies, all the bits I did actually want from them they hadn't brought with them. But they did have some building site hoarding, which will come in useful for my housing estate that I seem to have acquired. Another one of the traders had some Hornby MGRs, but they wanted 10 quid for them. But they did have one of these I'm always on the lookout for that seemed to be a bit thin on the ground. I've managed to pick a few up over time. This was 6 quid. Because these were, well, BIS. They keep changing their names every few years, but they're the local sand quarry to me. Layouts for You is a localish company to me actually, in March, Cambridgeshire. A few bits I got from him, just another spare micro RST or JST, I can't remember what they are now, connector. That's the quite small one. Some 0.5mm fibre optic, I think this is a metre for 50p. So you can create the illusion of a light somewhere where you haven't got the room for an LED. That's just a few ideas I've got for that. I might need more than that, but and a latching reed switch, so when you pass a magnet over it, it turns on and stays on, and then you have to pass it over again to turn it off. They're £2.99, but I have a job trying to source them from other places. And I think Elaine's trains. I know I've got a couple of wagons that need the little clips. I just need that bit by my thumb, but not that bit. But no, I think it was £1. No, £3. Ooh, yeah, expensive old lark this is, isn't it? So I need some of them for about 4 wagons, I think, but at £3 each. Be cheaper to put couplings on. Second-hand Electro Frog Point from Elaine Trains as well. That's a medium, and then a long. You can see there's a bit of difference there. And that was more or less it from her. And I can't remember what stall this was from. It's obviously the Burco ones, which are the same as the Econ ones, but they assemble them. That was £5. Didn't have any 3 or 4 aspects. They were a bit thin on the ground, sort of new or used. There wasn't a lot of signalling stuff in that department. Gauge Master and people like that weren't representing themselves. And the sort of biggest buy of the show was from Tony's Trains. Was a petroleum sector, as I've been after either a 37 or whatever I could find really, or a 60. Petroleum sector for my tanks. So we picked this one up. It was up for 150. I had a bit of a joke with Tony over Trish not being there, and he knocked me another tenner off. So, and it's a sound fitted one. So just have to rig the layout up just to check that one over. And I think that is about it from the week. There was no hefty big purchases. Everything I got is on pre-order, and that's about it. There might be something in those packs, but they're China related, so they could possibly be one of the tree armatures, or not, as the case may be. Or if not, it's all the stainless steel stuff for me homebrew. But if it isn't, you'll see it. So, what's the next segment going to be? Yeah, indeed, one of the boxes from China did contain my tree armatures, which are these. Obviously they're a little bit squished because they have to fit them in a bag, and they did put them in a box, so that did save them a little bit of increased destruction. It looks like they have a plastic base with a wire wound armature, fairly typical style, and then there's some kind of sandy paste painted on them, because there is a little bit obviously that's come away in the box, but nothing major. So they just need obviously gently tweaking and putting back into shape, and then I will spray them, or PVA possibly, just to seal them, paint them in a watered PVA just to stop any more drop, and then spray them, and then find a suitable flock to turn them into a tree. They look like they've been stripped of the leaves in a tornado at the minute, but yeah, they weren't. They're about what I expected them to be, so no disappointment on that factor. These are the 14cm ones. Well, they should be. I haven't checked and measured them, but the other ones are 22, so definitely not them. There is quite a price jump with them, but for the money, I mean, yeah, if you're going to do a lot, obviously it would pay you. Why wind your own? But I can't remember what they cost, but £3.45 for two. So, and then the post on top. So it was about £10 or £12, I think. So £3 each. You can't really find anything this size for that sort of money. Obviously they're not going to be quite as nice as those trees in Getz, but a lot cheaper. So obviously it goes without saying, a big shout out to Tim at Lumsdonia, old Timber Surf, for organising a meet-up on the first balcony, so that a load of us could obviously find one another, and I met some new people that I've sort of occasionally seen the videos of. Not everyone has cards and things, including myself, but yeah, it was brilliant too. I mean, that was the main reason I went, is to sort of meet the people that you speak to over live chats and comments on your videos, and actually meet them face to face. And obviously some of them I actually spent the weekend with in the hotel. So yeah, Steve at Route 7, Andy March was just in, got the little emblem thing off of Jenny Kirk. Brian Finneton Central, he was down for the weekend. Obviously wandered around with Tim as well, man of many talents and much knowledge. Mark over at Donegal Dad, it was nice to meet him over in from Ireland. The man from the Northeastern, the king of London Northeastern, a fellow fan of the Northeastern, Tony. John Warner, Piccadilly, and of course Lord L himself. I was in presence of the great deity, and I even got the badge of honour, the Bog of Honour, off of Mr. Dragon Junction. So pleasure to spend the weekend with you and your wife and everyone else. Hopefully the dates and location will coincide, and we can do it again. Hopefully I can do next year. We'll have to wait and see what Key World magazine do with the location. I know that it was bursting at the seams, with the capacity being so great they actually shut the doors at one stage, and even today Sunday being quieter, they were restricting the amount of people going up on the balconies because of the safety concerns. I suppose it's health, safety, insurance, and all that whole malarkey. So yeah, if you met me or you saw me, you could have said hello, but yeah, if not, see you next year maybe. But yeah, it was great to see everyone. Julian from New Zealand, and obviously Paul, Sandling Junction, as they're off to build his layout, and Peter Dixon I met as well. Graham Falston, who's not too far away from me, he's about 40 miles. So yeah, it was great to sort of meet a lot of the people I've watched for many years. I didn't see some that were there, or missed them. I know Everard was there, but I think he just literally got mobbed by everyone. But yeah, hopefully it's well worth booking the weekend, you know, and so, you know, spending the cost of a loco on a weekend away. And then you haven't got to rush about quite so much doing it over 2 days as opposed to cramming it into one. Depending if you're that bothered. I mean, I wasn't anticipating on picking a lot of bargains up, but I'd done okay. There's some fantastic stuff there. The guy who does the trees, they're nearly as good as Boomer Diorama's stuff, but obviously you're paying for him to make them. But they were quality. I couldn't get near him because I did think I might treat myself to one or two, but I think, you know, just retreat because the crowds were still quite good. You know, some of the stores and that, you were 2 or 3 deep, so you got to spend the day there and just sort of chill and mosey. So 2 days is even better. I haven't done a heap of footage with regards to the layouts because there'll be hundreds of people that do a far better job than me. If they're worth looking at, I will include a few little snippets to roll this one out. But yeah, great to meet everyone, and hopefully I'll meet you again. I think Whalley, I don't know, that's no good for me. I don't think it's too far, and travelling via the means is not particularly practical. So hopefully Milton Keynes being a little bit more central, they will, you know, keep it at that location, and I can meet up and do it again. Okay, see you on the next one. I'm gonna have a nap and a Chinese takeaway. I am knackeroonied.